All right, good morning, everyone. Tradingology.com trading room for June 4th, 2020. We'll get the doors opened up. We have some mixed signals going on this morning for sure. Internals are right around that zero line. Is starting to look to the bear side, but now it's coming back up and is slightly positive right now, 508. And NDX just made an all-time high.
Good morning, everybody.
Hey, good morning, Dave. You must be the tricky laptop.
I am.
Let me get my volume turned up a little bit here. There we go.
Don't have that many good days. I got to take advantage of it while I can.
That's what I figured. I gave you the heads up that we had back-to-back 90s, so you had some good weather coming.
Yes, you gave me the weather report, and it worked out beautifully.
Perfect. Just watch out because that brings on tornadoes sometimes too.
We don't get a lot of tornadoes. We do get a couple, but we're so hilly and there's so many trees that we rarely get a tornado that lasts very long.
Protects you. That's good.
How's everybody doing this morning?
Pretty active room we got over there. A few guys are doing some quick scalping on the ES, it looks like. I took a real quick trade knowing we had to come in here on this little pump up on the ES when we cleared some of the moving averages, and the price signals gave me the nice signal that it was going to go higher. So I took a quick scalp personally in and out, so we're happy. I could have left it run, but I prefer not to let it run when I can't focus on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
We just made all-time highs on the NDX.
Yeah, unbelievable. It looks like on the Qs, I did a post last night on the Qs. It had hit almost exactly the high. It's probably exceeded it now if the NDX is over that high. And, it looks like a beautiful little double top there. I'm very, very interested in shorting it, but I'm going to wait a little bit. I think maybe there's too much bullishness for the next couple of days at least.
Right on. Yeah, we had 237.79 on the Qs there. Looks like that was a new high.
Yeah, it was 237.47 was the old high.
There you go. And look what it ran right into.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect.
Let's see what the diamonds are looking like. Dial that down. Isaac's looking for the room. Let me get him the link over here. Bum, bum, bum. Oh, I just shot the link in the room for any of you guys that are in there. We gave them the heads up.
Great. Yeah, so we had another 1.87 million people filing for unemployment claims. And of course, the market has to go up.
Right.
It can't stay down 200 points with 1.87 million people unemployed.
All I can think is how long until people just say enough is enough and this is just ridiculously fake.
Well, that's a good question. Money managers have to put money to work, and right now I'm not sure where they're getting it. I guess they're all, the payroll deductions for the 401k plans are probably not as good as they used to be because all the people that are unemployed, so they're not collecting that money. They had money on the sidelines, which they're probably putting to work. But I think at some point you're talking about, the greater fool theory. Who's going to be the one to buy the very top?
Yeah. I find it interesting with your double top seen on the Qs there, or just the NASDAQ in general, is how far ahead it is from the Dow on its recovery.
Yeah, the Dow is lagging for sure. I would imagine at some point there's going to be a rotation out of those hot technology stocks that have done so well since the bottom in March.
Yeah, 1.82 was their forecast, and it surpassed it by 50,000.
Yeah. 50,000 or 500,000?
I have 1,820K was their forecast, and 1877 was the actual.
No.
So that sounds like 57,000 difference to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that would be right. Yeah.
It's still higher than expected, like you say, and yeah, we're going up.
Of course.
Although it was negative for a while, I will say that it was a roller coaster this morning when it came out, as
Yeah.
usual.
Yeah, I've been watching it since about 5 a.m. my time, and it was down 150 early in the morning. It went up, still stayed negative, but when the numbers came out, it dropped back down to minus 200 or so. And then it just rallied back from there. I mean, you can't keep yeah, all those people unemployed is definitely bullish.
It just sounds, I know it's true because it's happened, but it's just ridiculous that that's reality.
It is. It's unbelievably ridiculous. You know, I think the reality is not going to set in until the Fed stops buying things. And, you know, actually their overnight operations have slowed down tremendously. I think they see if they see the stock market going up, they think everything's okay. So they kind of, you know, they just don't put as much money into the system. But they are creating these special purpose vehicles that are just, you know, buying up as much assets as they possibly can. One of the things in the Wealth Masterclass yesterday that we looked at was HYG, and I think it's declining a little bit today, but you know that looks like a very very nice shorting opportunity. They also have calls and puts on it, so I'm thinking about doing some puts on that one. Corporations are going to be, especially those corporations that have a lot of debt in the HYG, are going to be hit, I think, very, very hard. I can't imagine them getting out of this by the end of the year unscathed.
Yeah, then the fact that it's the election year again, right, is the other variable in this. You know, will it last until after, no matter whichever way it goes, and then does it fall apart, or does it happen before that?
It'll be interesting to find out. Typically in the summer, I found that we get summer rallies on a seasonal basis pretty often. You know, we could just have a liquidity kind of a little melt up here.
Well, and the other part you mentioned, the overnight activity in the repo and the special purpose vehicles that they like to call them, just ways of manipulating everything. With the new reserve rules and the banks at zero, I wonder how much that's going to affect the interbank lending overnight in the repo operations. If that'll, slow that down, or if that's part of why we're seeing that slowdown, because they're no longer required to have a reserve.
That's right, and they don't have to have much cash. They don't have to have reserves, and they don't have to have much cash on hand. So, yeah, I think there could be a summer rally. We could see the market kind of melt up, maybe get to 5% or even 10% higher than where we are right now. The Dow could form that double top if we get back up to those levels, and then we'll see a decline maybe in the fall, which is the seasonal. I mean, that's typically when we do see declines.
Sure. Yep. You guys are quiet today. No questions. No one even saying good morning. Hopefully our microphones are working and it's not just you talking to me.
Everybody's making money, so everybody's quiet.
That might be what it is. Our good buddy Eric, who's very helpful. So Eric, I know you're not here now, but if you have checked the recordings, we highly appreciate your involvement in the Slack channels. Looks like he helped out quite a few guys again this morning on $200, $300, $400, $500 profits. So looking good, guys.
Very nice. Yeah, Eric's a very sharp guy. He's really got a pulse on the markets, and he does very, very well. Is he in the chat room?
Yes.
Oh, okay, very good.
Yep, Eric's very active on a daily basis in the, I should start calling it the gold chat room now.
Let's see. How are the internals looking? They're kind of mixed right now, aren't they? Not real strong either way.
Yeah, we came down, opened up around -1,000, but we're trying to build back up towards zero. So it's at -600 now, and the volume's literally on the zero line.
Yeah.
Big separation again in the volume compared to issues as well. Oh, look, Eric's joining us now. Speak of the devil, he must have heard me talking.
Awesome. Yeah, Eric has he's he's participating. He's very knowledgeable, and he's doing a great job in there. And we appreciate his feedback and everything that he's doing.
I see his mic just got up. Not that you're gonna have to talk, Eric, but you must have heard us. Your ears were ringing because I was just giving you praise for being a fantastic community member in the Slack channel that we monitor and helping traders out. So we appreciate you being here, Eric. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Good morning, Eric.
Yeah, we'll see if we get anything figured out. What else is I'm mixed in my thoughts because we haven't discussed anything, and I would almost be remiss. I know we talked about it a little bit in the Slack channels last week when it was more recent news, but geez, with this recent social unrest, whatever we want to call it, and it's starting in my backyard, this has just been unbelievable. And I'm very happy about the changes that with the charges they did yesterday and arresting the other 3. I just pray that they finish it because I'm very leery because they just released the autopsy report, and I'm very scared that they're going to use it as an excuse, and that is going to unleash even worse problems.
Yeah, I think it doesn't matter what the autopsy report. If there's any way they can exonerate the officers involved, there'll probably be more and more unrest. Obviously, we want justice done, but anything that goes against a guilty verdict will probably set off some more riots.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's crushing me. I think that's part of why Isaac mentioned in the room, looks like he's on his phone. He mentioned he's been quiet. That's part of why I've been quiet recently as well, guys, is just, at a pause just in life in general and, thinking about things and trying to do everything I can.
Yeah, it's a difficult time for sure, for everybody. I don't know if you heard, do you listen to Peter Schiff at all?
I do not.
He had a live stream yesterday that was kind of interesting, and he's saying a lot of barriers to economic equality has to do with government regulations, and you have to be trained as a barber and get a license to be a barber, but how many people could actually go out, people of color who had the ability to cut hair but can't because they have to pass this extensive license, and one of the tests is you have to name all 50 bones in your hand.
Oh, wow.
And I'm not sure exactly what that has to do with getting a license to cut hair. So, it's not like going into surgery and, making sure that your surgeon is licensed and well trained. If you go into a barber who doesn't know the 50 bones in your hand, the worst that can happen is you get a bad haircut, and you just don't go back. So there's some occupations that need to be regulated, and others, I think the government is just overstepping a little bit. And that's what, basically that was his point.
Sure. No, it makes sense. And Eric makes a great point too, that, he's shocked about how people are using this as opportunity. And this makes zero sense to me as well on stealing and looting, I mean, I understand the protest. I'm all for it. Let's change what we need to change. But if you take this as an opportunity to destroy a business that had nothing to do with it, that's actually, worse off already with the
Well,
pandemic going on, and now you're gonna burn houses down, or not houses, but buildings, and steal things. That's makes zero sense to me.
absolutely. It hurts the entire community. So they targeted like Target stores and small mom and pop shops, and those are the people in the community that are offering products and services to you that maybe are essential. And if you burn them down or if you destroy their property, even if they have insurance, okay, that's one thing. But they're going to be very reluctant to reopen in that community again. And so you're going to be left. The community itself is going to be left without some of the things that they used to have, and now they're going to it's going to it makes a economic decline in the neighborhood, but it also reduces the goods and services that you're able to purchase in the community. So yeah, it's bad all around. I think they are using it as an excuse. And one of the worst things I heard was that a black man was shot. It looks like he was in his 60s, or kind of, and he was out during the riots, and he was talking to people about not destroying property, and somebody shot him in the chest. And here they are protesting against abuse of black men, and somebody shot this black man in the chest.
Yeah, I heard a lot of those reports about different parts of the country where people have been being shot. Fortunately, that's the one thing that hasn't happened here in the Minneapolis area. Is there was one person that did get shot. I think it was the second night. It was a business owner, I think, actually shot someone protecting himself. But other than that, it wasn't like people shooting at police that I've heard of in other areas, which I think I've heard less than 10, but obviously the number doesn't matter. But yeah, this turns into that. Holy cow.
Yeah, yeah, it's just bad all around. It's absolutely horrible.
Yeah, Eric mentions too that they were seeing people from out of town. That was an early topic here as well, where people were trying to blame it on everyone out of town, but then they did some looking into, arrest people. There was a lot of people that were still local, so it is absolutely both. I think it was some outside influences that were inciting it and being, starting the ball rolling, and then, just taming off of the crowd at the time. That's why they couldn't control it, because it was just a sheer numbers thing. Then they brought in more power, and then it's become more under control here. I see other parts of the country are not as control as we luckily are. Hopefully that stays that way. But yeah, just the people getting shot. And I think there was the one police officer I saw was one of the first ones that was shot trying to guard a pawn shop somewhere. That he was either retired police chief or the police chief at the time, then and he was killed.
Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, the whole idea of the protest is to stop violence. It should be anyway, and that's the way it started. But people, like Eric says, take advantage of the situation. Just like in there was a huge blackout back in I think it was in the 70s or 80s, and it lasted for like a day in New York City, and everybody just took advantage of it and looted stores and did all kinds of terrible things. It's the herd mentality.
Right. I was just thinking about it last night, how we had mentioned it, so I didn't want to pretend like I was trying to ignore things. And
Yeah.
I know we do as much as we do for you guys in the community, just for here for trading and whatnot. So we appreciate you. And it was one of the things that I've always been brought up where, we didn't see color. People were people for who they were. And I was just thinking about our community where we have people from, the Sham's not on this morning, I don't think, but, Cape Town, South Africa, people of all different races and whatnot. It just doesn't matter. People are
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
absolutely.
too, Eric. You stay safe, man.
Yeah, you too. Take care, Eric.
He says, stay nimble as we approach a significant top that he's projecting next week.
Yeah, I think he's right on. It could be we may not get we may get a severe sell-off now. The Qs, if we do maintain that double top there, the projection for a double top based on the dip in the middle would be about 100 and I posted it. I forgot what it was. I think it's 189.52.
I'll grab your picture here.
and the Qs. So if that double top does hold, and that does turn out to be a top. Yeah, there you go, 189.58. Part of the characteristic of the double top is the volume declining on the right side, which it has, and you got a very, very deep decline there if the double top does hold. Now it can't exceed that by, I believe, more than 0.5%, and so the previous top was 237.47. 0.5% of that would be another 10 points or so. Yeah, maybe 10 points. So it could go to 247 and still be a double top.
And now we're 237.45 exactly right now.
Yeah.
Where we're currently trading on the Qs. It touched the 79. So yeah, looking at that, we'll just move that back in a second. That is interesting. And this is a daily chart, correct? Yep, there it is, daily. Yep, okay.
Yeah, I would definitely look at the daily chart for that kind of a setup, not anything shorter term. So 189.58 doesn't bring us all the way down to the bottom, but that's just the initial target for the double top. After that, who knows what happens? Whatever pattern develops at that point to see if it's going to continue lower or not, or it's going to reverse and go back up. But if that double top holds, that's the target.
So thinking about the McGinley side of the house, where we see it crossed it here when it dropped, and there was a significant shorting opportunity, obviously.
Yeah.
And then when it crossed back to the upside,
yep.
Would you feel it'd be safer to wait until it crosses again? Or would you, I guess there's a couple different ways to look at that, right? Where you could just do some really cheap options on the Qs if you wanted to, and just buying some, like we talked about, you'd mentioned earlier, it's just some out of the money, very cheap ones, whether it's puts or calls. I would say most likely, obviously, you're going to be buying puts.
Out of the money puts, yeah.
Or if you would wait until it crosses the McGinley again.
Well, one of the things that I look at when I use the McGinley is how far it is from the McGinley. So you can see on the left top, where was the McGinley at that point? How far away from the price?
And we're farther away than it was at that point.
Yeah. And so when it hugs the McGinley, then and it's above the McGinley and it's hugging it, I'm relatively certain it's going to continue to go higher. But when there's a huge separation between the McGinley and the price, that is also a pretty good indication that it is overheated.
Got it.
Just like it was on the left side.
Yep. Okay. Makes sense.
And also at the bottom, look how far away it was from the bottom in the McGinley. So
yeah, we get stretched down here, then it reverts back, and then it stretches, and it's going to revert back.
Yeah. Yeah, and right now the BOP on the NASDAQ and the NYSE are both pretty bullish there. One thing that I do have an announcement about one thing. If you guys go to strongmarket.com, the home page, I am going to be publishing a brand new Excel spreadsheet with my stock picks, ETFs, options, and crypto. And it's going to be free. So if you guys want to go sign up for that, it's going to be in an Excel spreadsheet. Basically, I've got a watch list in there. I've got the positions open in there, and I've got closed positions. And so you'll be able to track all of the options and stocks and ETFs that I'm taking positions in. So it's completely free. I call it the balance of power because I'm using not only the market timer spreadsheet balance of power as the primary driver of the analysis, but also the price action profits, the equilibrium concepts that you guys learned in the price action profits course. So it's completely free. I'm just going to basically just put it out there. I'm at the point now where, I just, I like to, I want people to understand how powerful this equilibrium concept is and the balance of power in the market timer spreadsheet. So, what I'll do is I'll update the spreadsheet. I've got a watch list that I just started. I'm not going to start publishing the newsletter until Monday, but I'm going to populate the watch list, and any positions I take will be in that spreadsheet, and you can get that for free.
Fantastic. So there you go. Right at the root of strongmarket.com. You can't miss it. It's this big screen.
Yep. Right on the front page. And I'm using the quad system. So as you know, in the price action profits, we do quadrants. And so the analysis that I'm doing in that balance of power newsletter is which quad are we in? If we're in quad 1, which is the top quad between the 75% and 100%, it's very bullish. If it's in quad 2, it's still bullish because it's above the equilibrium. If it's in quad 3, it's bearish because it's below equilibrium. And if it's in quad 4, it's a lower 25% of the price action, then it's very strongly bearish. And so I think you guys will find it interesting, and you can track all of the positions that I'm in.
Awesome. Awesome. You always got something else up your sleeve, don't you, sir?
Well, I'm getting to the point now where I want to share as much information as I possibly can because I have no idea how much longer I'm going to be around.
Don't say that. Don't even put that out there in the universe.
Yeah, I know. Don't put that in the universe.
Isaac's got a quick question here. He says, for the MES, do you place 10 points up or down to enter? Is it right? It's a big move for the ES. Sorry if this misspelled on the phone. Hey, no problem. I love typing on phones, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do I place 10 points up or down to enter?
As a stop or as a...
That's what I was wondering. Do you mean for a target or for a stop? Because, yeah, we were absolutely getting 10-point moves. You know, here we just went from 31.10 to 31.20. Yeah. Qualify your question there, Isaac, and we can try and help you out.
Yeah, is that like a to enter? So I'm not sure.
10 points up or down to... Okay, what do you mean to enter, Isaac? Help me out.
I mean, you're going to use the Dan's levels there on the moving averages for entry and exit and the pivot points.
Yeah, you're talking like when I'm looking for... He can't even use his phone. He's having technology problems today.
Well, you should see some of the text messages on my phone. It's so funny. It's hilarious. This one guy I was talking to, I said, I was going to type sounds good. And then it said, das so good. He laughed so hard.
Yeah, between trying to type sometimes and I get my mom uses the text to type. So she'll just say something. So half the time I'll get a text message that says, oh, what is this thing doing? I'm trying to do something. So it keeps recording whatever she has. Oh, I have to break for a quick second, Dave. I got a guy that's coming in to work on some stuff. So give me 1 minute. You do a song and dance.
Yeah, go right ahead. I'll take care of everybody here, I guess. I can still see your screen, but I can't move it. So, anyway, it looks like we got a little back and forth here, but, the market is going to definitely be interesting, I think, over the next few months. And, as long as the Fed keeps printing, we may see a continuation. We might also see cryptocurrency start to rise. We talked a little bit about it yesterday, but I'm not really sure. I mean, it looks like it's going up, but we had a little sell-off this morning. Bitcoin went from like 96 down to 94, so it dropped about 200 points. And then it recovered. So I don't know. It's kind of too early to tell whether we're out of the correction phase of cryptocurrencies yet. I keep saying this time is different, but we're heading right into the resistance area on every single major crypto. and at the same level previously, we've declined. Is it going to be different this time, or are we going to break out to the upside?
Right.
Or,
Yeah. Will it finally be time, or will we stay in this up and down?
yeah.
You sound like the government. This time it'll be different.
Yeah.
But it never is.
Yeah. I mean, it's rare to get it exactly right. And so, I keep thinking, well, yeah, okay, it could be different this time. We could break out, but we've been in a correction for 3 years. What's the chances of us picking exactly the right time it's going to break out?
Right.
Very, very little.
That's why I like to not even pay attention half the time outside of, since I closed the majority of, I shouldn't say the majority, but I closed out on even on my H-bar trade. So I'm happy with that. If that just takes off, then it takes off. So
Right.
Dave says, what do you think about the meeting today? Isaac's asking, you mean, do we have maybe time? Is that what you're talking, Isaac?
He sent me a message on
I saw that the notes that he'd sent you. I hadn't get a chance to read it.
yeah, and I'm gonna look at it today. I'm gonna take a look at it. I don't think anything dramatic's gonna come from that, but it'll be interesting to listen in on it.
So what he's referring to is a global exchange and fintech virtual conference that's happening in about a half an hour.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I don't expect anything major. If you didn't see it, Digital Asset Investor yesterday interviewed Greg Kidd.
Interesting.
Yeah, Greg Kidd was the regulatory compliance guy at Ripple as an employee, and then he left to start his own venture capital firm, and he's been involved in Global ID. He's also an investor in Ripple, the company, and he has shares in the company, but he also has a billion XRP.
Jeez.
He told DAI yesterday he has 1% of the float.
Wow.
That's a billion XRP. So he's very, very. It was a great interview. If you haven't seen it, definitely go check it out.
I will definitely check that out. And if anyone's interested in the meeting Isaac was referring to that Dave was talking about, you can see it at the CME Group's website. So it will be live in less than a half an hour. So if you are interested, you can check it out there.
Yeah, it should be very interesting. I don't expect anything really huge to come out of it, but it could be it could get some interesting breadcrumbs there. Also, one of the interesting things that Greg Kidd said that Digital Asset Investor asked him was whether or not XRP is going to be deemed a security, and he really dismissed he didn't really care either way. He said, look, if it is a security, then it's not going to change the trading at all. It's not going to do anything to the trading. It's still going to trade. It's still going to be used. The only difference is that they're going to probably list it on the NASDAQ. Or he didn't say that, but it's going to change the way where it's being traded, maybe.
Sure.
But he said, at one time, and he actually said almost exactly what Jay Clayton said when asked about whether or not XRP was a security. He said, well, sometimes you have a digital asset that used to be a security, but changes have been made so that it's less centralized, and now it's not a security. And he basically said the same thing. So, but he said it wouldn't make any difference whether it was or whether it wasn't. Didn't make it.
Sure. Yep. Got it. There it is. I got it queued up, so I'm gonna watch that after this is done. Big turnaround on the internals. We've crossed into the positive territory on both issues and volume. If anyone was long there, I'd probably look at grabbing their profits if you haven't already. There's room to run here up to 31.32, but I went, to each their own. No advice, obviously, but there is some space. I wouldn't take a short trade there, but if you're already in one from down here, I would look at capturing profits if you haven't yet.
Yep, it's good advice.
What about my haircut? Are you giving me a hard time now? I don't have much hair left to cut, man.
Yeah. What about Dan's haircut? I can't see too well on my laptop, but you haven't got it completely shaved, do you?
No, I'm like another week and I got to cut it again. It's getting long.
It's getting long. Okay. All right. Well,
You can tell I
I
haven't shaved yet either.
I cut mine myself, and then except for the back, my wife had to do that.
Yep, exactly. You got to make sure they get your neck.
Yeah. But when I was in college, see, I made money on the side by cutting other people's hair.
That's funny. Oh, did you have to know all the bones?
I'm experienced. No, see, I didn't. I did great haircuts, and I didn't know any bones. None. See, it just proves my point. You don't need it.
Yep, exactly. It's just a way to manipulate the system and get money from people because they can.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. And everything they touch and regulate takes the free market out of the equation. Another example that Peter Schiff gave, which was kind of interesting. Well, I'll let you guys go listen to it yourself, but you know, it was very interesting. It was the live session he did yesterday.
And he puts his stuff on
That's right.
YouTube as well, right? Yeah.
Yes, he does. Yeah, he puts it on YouTube.
I'll grab a, oh, jeez. I'll grab a link for you guys and throw it in here.
Yeah, I kind of dismissed him for a while because he was anti-crypto, but I said, well, let me give him a listen because I love opposing points of view, and I like to listen to all sides. So I said, well, let me listen to him. And the guy's intelligent, very, very intelligent.
So this is the Printing Money Matters from yesterday?
I believe so. Or it was, no, there's one there about race or something. Maybe it was last night or maybe.
Maybe he hasn't posted it yet if it was a live one.
Maybe.
Looting the socialism without the middleman?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay. Stop my ads from going. I'll get you a link for you guys.
But he's a very smart guy, and even though he doesn't like crypto, I think he's really worth listening to.
Not everyone's perfect. Isaac says you always make money. It's a gift. You hang around them long enough and you read that spreadsheet and you get it. You soak it in.
Yeah. It's it is kind of interesting. I think people are just naturally gifted in certain ways, and you just have to learn how to use that gift to get what you want. But everybody's got a gift of some sort. You just got to find out what yours is.
There you go, and share it.
My niece was an artist when she was younger in high school, and she went to Munson Williams Proctor Institute for art. And now she is a tattoo artist in Arizona, and she's phenomenal. I mean, the work that she does is incredible. And she's really, really good.
Nice.
Yeah. And she kind of went the traditional art way. She did paintings and stuff like that. But, it doesn't make a lot of money.
Right. That's why they call them starving artists, right?
But then she applied her talents and her gift to tattoos, and she's an incredible artist, just absolutely incredible artist. She's on Instagram as Christine V Art.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the Fed or it's just there's a lot of money on the sidelines, Isaac. I think that, there was a huge outflow of money from the markets in March, and maybe that's finding its way back in. The Fed, I do believe, is in buying equities, and they're in buying corporate bonds. They just haven't said everything that they're buying. And they don't have to because they're a private corporation. They're not a government entity, which requires auditing. They're private. They don't have to tell you.
Which is part of the thing that, it's got to where once you figure out, because then, like you say, there is no more free market if they just own everything. And then that leads to the next thing of where we don't want to go.
Hyperinflation. Hyperinflation. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. How's USCI doing? Because that's the kind of the benchmark that I'm looking at for inflation and commodities.
Let's
I
take a
know
look.
the dollar index was down a little bit over the last couple of days. It should have given a boost to commodities.
Yeah, it definitely jumped up this morning
Yeah.
compared to what it normally does. It's a pretty big bar there.
I can't see. It was 26.
2671.
71. Okay, yeah.
Whoops, I zoomed in too far.
Yeah. So if we see the dollar index, the Dixie, the DXY, start to decline, then we could see that commodity inflation start to pick up. But we also have to see interest rates rising. How's the 10-year doing?
We'll pull up this guy first.
You're not going to get, I don't think you're going to get DXY on there. I do it on TradingView because it's
Oh,
not
that's true.
an ICE. I think it's an ICE listed index.
I don't have that feed on there. That's true.
Charge that fee. So you could pick up UUP. UUP is a good substitute.
20 years down. I was just curious
Oh, yeah. Okay.
because that's the new one they reintroduced, right? That 20 years. So I was,
Yeah. So interest rates are probably up a little bit. And
what's
how,
my ticker on the 10 again?
for the what?
For the 10.
ZN. ZN for the 10.
That's right. Come on, keyboard. You're not gonna. There we go. Oh yeah, look at that drop.
Yeah, that's very, very sharp. So we've had a nice run up in rates. So the run up in rates, the dollar declining, should give a boost to commodities. And watch those rates, especially the 10-year, because if that starts to drop significantly, rates are going to skyrocket. Now, yesterday, as we mentioned in the Wealth Masterclass meetup, those rates shot up very, very sharply. And that you see that reflected in the futures contract. Don't forget the rates are inverted to the price of the ZN futures contract for the 10-year.
Yeah, the opposite, right? Exactly.
So when that drops, it means rates are going higher. Boy, that's going to, you know what? If there's anything that's going to affect the housing market, it's going to be a rise in rates. I mean, people aren't buying houses now when rates are historically low.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's going to kill real estate.
And that's what everyone's been talking about. I shouldn't say everyone, but yeah, we know it's coming. I was trying to figure something out. Remember how we talked about selling the house now and living in an RV?
Yeah.
When did we talk about that? I need to find that video and I need to send it to George Gammon because he said nobody was talking about it. I said, we've already talked about it twice.
That's right. That I believe that was, remember the Thursday that you couldn't make the those one that it was last Thursday. It was the one before that, I think.
Okay. I was literally going through them. I'm like, I need to find where we talked about it because that would be fantastic.
So it's either last Tuesday or the Thursday before that.
Okay.
Yeah, send him that clip.
I'm going to send them that. I'll be like, come listen to us, George. Because just the way he said that, no one's talking about this. I'm like, yeah, we did. Just us little guys.
Yeah, George is a big shot now, so I'm not sure he's even going to pay attention to us PMs.
I know, but it'll still be fun. He's got to remember his roots.
Yeah, that's right.
What's Isaac got here?
Did you know he started his own television show in Colombia?
Really? Wow.
Started his YouTube channel. Yeah, he started his own TV show, but because it was only broadcast in Colombia and he couldn't get it broadcast outside of Colombia, he canceled the whole thing. I guess he put quite a bit of money into it.
Wow.
And then he canceled it and said, let's just do it on YouTube. and then we can go the whole world. Right? We can broadcast ourselves, and that's what he decided to do. And he's got his staff, got a few people working with him, and I don't know. I think he crossed 100,000 subscribers recently.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago he did. I remember seeing that. $tick Isaac's referring to here on another internal. I haven't looked at that one. Do we know let me see if I can pull that up. What's that a representation of, a tick?
Yeah, the ticks are just so it's just like a tick chart. It tells you are people hitting the bids, or are they hitting the offers?
On what?
I believe it's on the entire market. It's on the NYSE. So it's in every stock on the NYSE.
Interesting. Oh, I got too many $signs.
And Andrew actually did a little script that tracked the tick. I'll see if I can dig that up. It was a nice little script. I used it on the trading the YM and the ES.
Oh, holy cow.
I still don't do much day trading.
This is like radio wave signals.
Yes. So yeah, exactly. So you have to get into like a 5-minute chart or something. I don't know what you got on that. I can't see with the.
This is 5, but it was definitely zoomed in quite a bit. Okay.
Yeah. So when you see those ticks going up, it means that they're hitting the bids. So people are bidding up the market. When you see it going down, they're hitting the ass, so they're selling.
Interesting. I've never seen that one.
And there are limits. So typically, because there's about 3,000 stocks on the NYSE, when that thing hits like 1,500, man, that means everybody's diving into the market.
Gotcha.
I have used it in the past, but I haven't used it that much lately. It's very, very short-term indicator. Very, very short-term.
So it looks like this morning it opened up almost down at 1,000 to the negative, and it's shot up since then.
Yeah.
Huh, I'll have to take a look.
Yeah. Take a look at it. I think it's interesting if you're doing very, very short-term trading.
There you go, Isaac. There's your quick and dirty on the tick. All right, we're just about to wrap time. It's flown by once again. I don't think we've missed any questions. You're welcome, Isaac. Glad you can make it on your phone.
Well, I give him credit for even attempting to do it on his phone.
He found it on the new website on his phone and everything, I think.
I'm not sure I'd do it on my phone. I can do it on my laptop. Do they have Zoom for phone? For the iPhone? They must, right?
They do, yep. There's definitely an app for it. And speaking of that quick, that I did see, they announced that people are using it for free. They're not going to encrypt it anymore, so they can police it if they need to. I'm like, yeah, I'm glad I have a paid one. I'll keep mine encrypted.
Yeah, exactly. They even mentioned something about the FBI can listen in.
Right. They're not going to encrypt them, so the authorities can listen in on the Zoom meetings.
Yeah, well, they listen into everything anyway.
Because they got nothing better to do. I know I got 18 microphones anyways. All right, guys, we'll probably wrap it for this week, and we'll be back on next Tuesday. And make sure you sign up for strongmarket.com and get on that free list. Get that spreadsheet. That's where I'll be going right after this.
Yep, absolutely. I just got a watch list started on there, but next Monday I'm going to fill that out over the weekend, and we'll get it rolling on Monday here.
Your faces are half inch, he says. That's too funny. All right, Dave, I appreciate it, man. You have yourself a good weekend and enjoy that weather.
Yeah, you too, guys. Have a great weekend, and I will enjoy it. Thank you.
Take it easy, everyone.
Take care. Bye.